Welcome to Raya Shikshan Sanstha's online learning program. English Balbati Standard 6th, and this is the part 2 of The Sword in the Stone. So let's start. Sir Kay stood speechless, staring at his younger brother. He knew all about the magic sword and what it signified, but Arthur was unaware of it all. Arthur had always been a brave and valiant boy, and he had excelled in fencing and archery. He adored his father and his half brother, and his dream was to become the squire to his dashing brother. And now, without even knowing what it implied, Arthur had drawn the magic sword from the stone. Kay's mind was working rapidly. He actually held the sword of the stone in his hand, and very same sword that the strongest and best knights could not so much as grip or get hold of. So Sir Kay, who was already aware of the magnificent tale about the sword, rushed to his father. So Sir Kay seized the sword and ran to the father, leaving a bewildered Arthur behind him. He said to Sir Ector, "Father, father, this is the sword of the stone, and I have it in my hand. I am the rightful king of Britain." Sir Ector was a wise man. How did you get hold of this sword, son? He asked his eldest born. What does that matter? I have it in my hand. It was meant to be mine. It's not that enough. Kay resorted angrily. That's not enough, said the father quietly. How did you get hold of this sword? I've got it, and that's what matter, Kay replied, stubborn as ever. Well, then come with me, Sir Ector said, and led his son inside the great church, which was now empty. Taking the holy book from the choir, Sir Ector said to his son, swear on the holy book that you drew the sword from the stone. Sir Kay lowered his eyes. He could not face his father now. How did you come by the sword, son? Sir Ector asked him once again. Arthur brought it to me, father, said Kay, still with his eyes lowered. Bring Arthur here, and let the three of us go to the churchyard. Sir Ector told him. We have to know the truth about this. Soon the three of them were at the churchyard. Put the sword back on its anvil, Sir Ector said to Kay. But try was he, but try as he might, Kay could not put the sword back. It struck the anvil and slid off the block. So Sir Kay claimed that he was the rightful king. The wise actor asked him to tell the truth about the sword. Sir Kay tried to avoid answering his father, but Sir Ector asked him to swear by the holy book of the great church. Sir Kay had no option but to tell the real story of how Arthur got the magic sword. For him, Arthur Arthur saw what was happening and thought that his father was angry with them because he thought the sword was stolen. Sir Ector had always told his son what's matter most for a knight is integrity, being honest and truthful at all times. On all occasions, Arthur stepped forward impulsively. Here, let me put it back, he said, and taking the mighty sword from his elder brother, he thrust it back on the anvil, and it slipped in neatly. I assure you, father, I did not steal the sword. Kay needed a sword urgently, and I did not want to keep him waiting. Rather than ride all the way home, I decided to take the sword which I found in the churchyard. So the author innocently revealed that he did not mean to steal the sword, but he had decided to keep it back in its place after the tournament was over. And see, it is back in its place now. I fully intended to put it back in place after the tournament. And glancing at his father, at his brother, he added, I'm sure that is what Kay would have told me to do. Would not you, brother? Sir Kay did not speak a word. All right, Arthur, I believe you, said Sir Ector. Now let me see you draw that sword out as you did the first time. First time, you Kay? But try as he might, Kay could not so much as grip the handle, and he could not move the sword, however hard he tried. Now it is your turn, Arthur, said Ector said Sir Ector sternly. Arthur gripped the handle of the sword and drew the sword out gently but firmly. Sir Ector made him repeat the action again and again. Each time, Arthur gripped the handle and drew the sword out without any hesitation. Sir Ector was overwhelmed. He fell on his knees before his young son, who held the mighty sword in his hand and bowed his head in deep devotion. Wordlessly, Sir Kay, wordlessly, Sir Kay, wordlessly, Sir Kay followed his example. Arthur jumped back in surprise. Father, why, why do you kneel before me? Am I not your son? That is what I had thought until now, Sir Ector replied. But now I know better. I know whose son you are. You are the son of the good King Arthur Pendragon, and I bow to you as you are the King of Britain now. How could that be? You and I know that I was an orphan boy and trusted you to your care. Silently, Sir Ector pointed to the inscription on the stone which Arthur had not seen until now. Whoso pulleth out this sword is by right of birth King of England, but it can't be me, father. I'm your son, and I shall always remain your son. There was a flash of light, and Merlin appeared before them, a hooded figure with bright shining eyes and a bewitching smile. Lovingly he laid his hand on the Arthur's head and said to him, Indeed, I was the one who entrusted you to good Sir Ector, for your own safety. Your father and I knew that great danger lay ahead for the kingdom and yourself. No sooner than you were born, your father blessed you and handed you over to me. When the showman requested that you would take your rightful place on the throne of the England, when it was safe for you to do so. Turning to the Sir Ector, Merlin said, In the name of the late King Arthur, I thank you. You have done a splendid job of brightening up the heir to the British throne. Now you must inform the Archbishop and your fellow knights of all that has happened here. I shall await your return. Forthwith, Sir Ector called upon the Archbishop and all the lords assembled at the tournament. Holding Arthur by the hand, he announced to the assembly, Behold the rightful King of England. For a moment there was silence, and then The crowd burst out in angry protest. How can we believe you? Who is this unknown boy? Where did he come from? How is he any better than one of us? The archbishop took them all to the churchyard. The entire assemblage watched in awe as Arthur inserted the sword in the anvil and drew it out effortlessly. Some of the lords and knights also tried to draw the sword but failed to do so. Again and yet again, Arthur drew the sword from the stone before his people. Each time cheers went up, and each time more and more knights drew their sword and held them high in a gesture of loyalty to their newfound prince. Loud cheers rose from the common people who had surrounded the churchyard, eager to greet their new king. Now Merlin stepped out of the shadows and addressed the crowds. Behold, O people of Britain, I present you the one and only son of King Arthur Pendragon and his queen. He is your rightful king. So Sir Ector noticed that Kay was unable to keep the sword or to lift it, which Arthur seems to do effortlessly. Sir Ector bowed down before Arthur and acknowledged that he was the right king of England and none other. Sooner Merlin appeared before them for from now here and informed them about Arthur's birth and how he was entrusted to Sir Ector for Arthur's safety. Arthur had to put the sword back in its place and then lift it up again to prove that he was indeed the sole king of England by birth. I hope you enjoyed this story and understood. Thank you.